I'm Aarti Savoor, CEO of Parisar Asha. I'm sure you all know about Parisar Asha, but quickly let me just tell you about Parisar Asha. We are a Mumbai-based not-for-profit organization working in the field of education. And for past 38 years, we have been working very closely with more than 2,000 schools. And we have one very unique initiative, which is Positive Parenting and Child Helpline. And with the great support of Capgemini, we could reach out to, almost more than 1 lakh of families. By helping them, helping schools with our team of professionals, our counselors, academic counselors, psychologists, psychiatrists, to help our parents and teachers and students, in all issues related to the child's behavior, academic issues, addiction, aggression, all different areas, emotional imbalance. And so this is a great opportunity. In fact, because one of our guest speaker is representing Capgemini. So thank you so much, Pallavi, for being over here and for helping and supporting Parisar Asha's this unique initiative. In fact, post pandemic we started this particular webinar. It's a weekly webinar series what we started, where we are discussing different mental health issues which has been triggered due to this COVID pandemic. So right from COVID related issues to issues of senior citizens, single parenting, and all these different areas we have been catering. And this particular like today's session is specially for managing stress at the leadership level. The reason behind thinking of this particular topic is because I have been very fortunate to have the best of three worlds, because I belong to social sector, I belong to education sector, and I'm ex corporate sector. So I have all my friends in all these three different sectors. So whenever I used to interact with them, especially post pandemic, and especially I know that when you are a leader, you have n number of stress, because they say it's a very beautiful from the top, the top view is very good, but then you are mostly lonely over there. So you have a lot of issues you have to filter. Yes, sir. Okay, can you please, all of you, please mute yourself? Yeah. So when I used to interact with my friends from, higher positions in different education field or corporate world, so they were all telling me, oh my God, it is so stressful situation today, we don't know what to do now, because financially also there's a lot of issue. Then there is fear factor. You don't know, whether this corona, how is going to affect you, your families, everywhere, because of social distancing. A lot of issues have been, happening in our society. So I thought, why not, instead of calling some psychologists, which are, they are there anyways on our panel, but it will be nice if I can, actually invite all the leaders, top leaders from the industry, education world and the corporate world, because I have seen these leaders, how beautifully they managed, not only stress, but leadership is nothing but about managing people, managing situations, managing organization, and managing change, because change is the only constant factor in everyone's life. So I'm very fortunate to have, all three great leaders over here. So let me introduce one by one to all of you. So as ladies first, I will introduce Pallavi. And Pallavi, I take this opportunity to really thank you from bottom of our heart, not only from Parisar Asha, but all these people, who have been really touched because of our helpline. Because this is something very unique where, mental health was never given due respect in our society, because still there is social taboo. People feel like कि मैं क्या पागल हूँ क्या डॉक्टर के पास जाने के लिए, और काउंसलर के पास जाने के लिए. If you are not well, अगर आपको बुखार आता है, अगर आपको पेट दर्द है, तो immediately people will rush to the doctor. But if you are mentally, you are not happy, mentally you are sick, we are not actually taking care of our mental health. So that's where this our helpline, especially we were catering to really underprivileged sector, where for them it is like some new terminology. So because of your great support, Capgemini's support, we could reach out to more than 1 lakh families, and all are, like they're giving blessings to Parisar Asha and to Capgemini. So I welcome Pallavi, and let me just quickly read out, and she's going to represent our woman leader over here. So she is Chief Human Resource Officer, India, Capgemini. Pallavi Tyagi is the Chief Human Resource Officer, CHRO, for Capgemini India. As India CHRO, she drives the HR and talent strategy for Capgemini in India and serves as its representative in the global Capgemini HR leadership team. Her people focus charter includes business HR, talent acquisition, learning and development, transformation and retention, talent mobility, one employee experience, diversity and inclusion, and organizational competitiveness. Pallavi has more than 2 decades of vast experience in fast moving consumer goods, that is FMCG, information technology, IT, as well as process and discrete manufacturing companies. Prior to joining Capgemini, she led the talent acquisition and organizational vibrancy at DuPont. Pallavi's profile spans the entire gamut of HR functions, including strategy, leadership, pipeline development, manufacturing operations, compensation and benefits, talent acquisition and management, with a strong focus on high emotional quotient, interpersonal capability, and strategic stakeholder management. She brings with her a rich global experience as well, having service in multiple geographies, including the United States, Russia, Poland, the Middle East, China, Southeast Asia, and India, among others. My God, Pallavi, I'm so tired reading your this huge CV. I mean, amazing, amazing.
But not tired
and yeah, Pallavi is married and has a daughter who is pursuing medicine. Oh, wow. And she is passionate about art history and follows it keenly in her free time. Pallavi, do you get free time?
No.
No, because if you get free time, you please join Parisar Asha's online art classes. We have started with this online art classes. So we will be more than happy. Yeah, so welcome Pallavi, welcome for our today's discussion. And let me tell you, I'll be introducing my other guest speakers also. So this is very, very informal, like just feel free. This is not that like typical kind of panel discussion and we have very aggressive discussion happening. This is very soft, gentle, heart to heart conversation, because we have so many of our followers, like our friends who have joined us today, and they are also watching us on Facebook Live. We also make this YouTube videos and, we circulate to our education fraternity and also in the corporate sector, so people can get some kind of inspiration from all your talks. Like today we have Mr. Rohan Bhatt now with us. So let me quickly introduce Sir Rohan Bhatt. Thank you so much. I mean, I have been really like a great follower of his initiatives, because he represents our education world. So one, leader we have from education world, we have 2 leaders from corporate sector. So let me read out quickly, Rohan sir. First of all, thank you so much for being over here. Rohan sir is very well known name in the school world. He is a chairman of Children's Academy group of institutions having 3 branches and 8,000 students in Malad Kandivali. A hardcore educationist and philanthropist, admired keenly in the roles of a teacher, principal, and now an able administrator with a long-standing contribution over 37 years in the school system. He also functions as treasurer of MISA, that is Members of International Schools Association, a body representing over 100 schools affiliated to the Cambridge Board. He has been rewarded by many awards, and such as Outstanding Principal Award by the Government of Maharashtra in 2009. So thank you so much, Rohan sir. I know he usually doesn't go for any kind of conferences or, like online things, but he said, no, I will definitely come, because he also appreciates the kind of work Parisar Asha is doing. So thank you so much, sir, and welcome for this hearty discussion for today. Okay, now we have another guest speaker today, Mr. Sanjay Panigrahi. Sir, good evening, sir.
Good evening, good evening.
Yes. So let me introduce Sanjay sir. He just retired in the month of May in 2020 from Pidilite Industries Limited as Chief Customer Officer. Now he has been on his own coaching, mentoring, and advising professionals, organizations across geographies. He has passion for rural India, rural communities, and small town business entrepreneurship, which he believes that it is really essential to make India economically strong and truly Atmanirbhar. Maybe this passion drove him, like to work with FMCG in Pidilite, which is a Fevicol making company, dairy products, that is Amul, and Seri, that is Sehaj. And one very important thing of Sanjay sir is he is also a heartfulness practitioner for more than 25 years. And I think that's the key of his, not only survival, but sustainability and successfully retiring from a corporate world. So he is here that who has completed his entire career and now, like he is retired and now he's helping other leaders to, like work upon their different strategies, different stress levels. So I take this opportunity to tell the world that he is my mentor because I came to Paris, this Pidilite Industries from my educational world. And sir, now I don't mind confessing that, I wanted to quit in the first week only because there was so much of stress, which I was not used to that stress. But then I started realizing, I said, no, the stress is actually, like giving me opportunity to stretch. So that stress I was converting into stretch. So stretching out all my, like abilities. And that's how I think you all can see me over here, because there's a lot of learning which has happened from sir. I used to directly report to him. So thank you so much, sir, for being over here.
Thank you. Welcome.
And a warm welcome to all, like three of you, and who are very closely associated with Parisar Asha. So it's really, really a great, like it's very nostalgic feeling for me, and a very different feeling, so that I can, get connected with all of you on this virtual platform. So now let's start with our question answers round. So we will first ask Pallavi. Because Pallavi, you can unmute your mic. Yeah. So Pallavi, first question is to you, and I think it's the same question for all three of you, because we are talking about post-pandemic situation. As I said, leadership is always a, every day there is some pandemic situation which you have to handle, and you have been handling for so many years. But especially if you can tell us, like how your life has changed post-COVID-19, personally and professionally.
So let me talk personally. That's much easier, though it was more difficult. I've never cooked in my life.
Okay.
And when the pandemic happened, and it is still continuing, I get 3 fresh square meals made at home. It's kept ready in the kitchen for whoever is hungry, goes, heats and eats, including myself, because after that, I don't get up from work at all. So yes, personally, I think it required a different shift to be looking at homework, if I may call it, house chores, which I was not doing before or had actually never done. So it was a huge learning curve for me. Thankfully, my family members are very patient and never complained about the food I cook, but kept motivating.
Okay.
Tasting really good. And I'm like, really? And they are like, take the compliment when it's coming to you. So I think that was the personal change for me, but as I said, everyone chipped in equally at the house chores. So, that got into a schedule. Professionally, again, it wasn't difficult in the sense that, our tagline is people matters, and truly the work that we do at Capgemini, we keep our employees at the heart of every decision we make. If your philosophy and your underlying principle is about that your employees matters the most, then as an HR leader, your job just becomes that much easier. So yes, as we work to get our employees to work from home, and 95% of our employees are now enabled working from home, just that task, and then my own team, helping their businesses and their employees, helping settle down and get to a place where, everything was working very well aligned. working towards delivering for the customers. I think that was basically the two things that we took time most when we started to work. And I give a lot of credit to my team, to the stakeholders within the organization, the support we got, the step up everybody did to do their own bits and pieces so that the whole picture for the employees came together. I'm not saying that it was an easy, it's not something you could predict, but it wasn't very difficult also, getting your arms and hands around it and coming together for the employees. I think, when you look back, they always say it's what you've done. When you look back to see, whether you could have done differently, the answer for me is no, I think we did the best possible.
Great. So here I would like to ask you one personal question. So what do you think, which dish you make the best?
Oh my God, which dish do I make the best?
I think I should ask your husband or your daughter,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah. So, well, the most critical decision for me, which I do a night before, is what do I need to cook the next day, and to make sure the whole week there is a variety. For me, it's always been the most difficult decision. But yeah, I think I learned how to make Kabuli chana, which is very different. And that's the most appreciated at home. So yeah, I think
Okay, so you
but-
feel the home-based decisions are more difficult than your work-based decisions.
I must tell you this thing about my mother-in-law, and it stayed with me. She was once knitting, and I was like, my parents would always say, "You never learned cooking," and I'm like, "Mom, this is to my mother-in-law. I never learned to cook." And she didn't look up. She was knitting. She was very fond of knitting. She said, "Pallavi, what you do, we can't do, but cooking is something you can pick up anytime. So just keep doing what you're doing." Like,
So I think COVID has helped you to pick up cooking.
exactly.
Okay.
Thanks for asking.
Yeah, great. So now I'm coming to Rohan sir. Sir, now you have to tell me like how your life has changed professionally and personally.
Yeah, good evening. First of all, thank you very much for giving the opportunity. I don't think people would be very much interested in my how my life has changed.
No,
They
in
won't
fact,
bother
we
with
have
how
so
their
many
lives have
educators
changed.
sitting over here, sir. They all are wanting to hear you.
Yeah, but I think there is nobody here whose life has not changed.
Yes, but you have come up with solutions. See, I have invited all the leaders who have solutions with them.
So anyway, everybody's life has changed, and I think everybody is coping with it. So as far as the personal life is changed to a very drastic level, because I am basically a work from office guy. I avoid taking work home. I leave everything in the office. I work late. I go early, but I like to leave everything at home, at the office, and then go home. Like to switch off my mobile once I am home. And this work from home is something which really made a huge difference. It was something which I never imagined would happen in my life. I didn't even have a laptop at my house because I never used to work from home. And being there all the time, sitting there was something that is something very, very different that has happened in my life. So that is one major change that has happened. Secondly, I can say personally, I have got a lot of more time, personal time. So I have time with my family, which I do not know whether they cherish or they dread, but either ways, they are stuck with me. At least they were so far. Now I am back in office, so it's going on. And I had a lot of time with my, as I said, families sitting together, which was really missing because of all our schedules. All my entire family is working, so everybody is busy in their own work. My daughter is studying, so she's not available for the almost throughout otherwise. So it's a nice change as far as personal life is concerned. I had a lot of time with my cats, so that's otherwise I hardly used to get time with that. So I'm lucky to have a small kitten now. So it has really given me a lot of time with that, the time of fun which I had forgotten. I think that there can be life like this also. And reading is something which I love to do, and I used to always catch up from vacation to vacation. But for the last now 3-4 months since we are home from April, I don't think I have missed a single day where I have not read a few pages. So that these are the personal changes that has happened in the life, and I say almost all of them are positive, and it has really helped me health wise also, because getting time for myself, doing a bit of exercise, so keeping myself fit has made a lot of difference. Professionally, if you ask me, as I said, I am strictly from a office kind of guy, and I was a lot into academics, as you said in your introduction about me. I I have been a teacher. I have been guiding my staff previously with the day-to-day academic works, and then maybe last 10 years I have lost complete touch with academics because the team grew, everything grew, and I had to leave off some of my responsibilities. So which basically my brother Rohit now looks after the academics. So I don't get into uh, my people's work as far as possible. I try to have faith on people and leave them to their work. And I've got a very excellent team. So each of them capable of doing their own work. And now is the time that I have come back to academics and something which I love. And daily I have to read uh, at least 15 to 20 mails which will be directly connected to academics. And there is something which I love because it is a lot of it's a kind of modules that we are preparing for the next day for the children, or preparing in advance for the children. So I get to now see what exactly the teacher is teaching, what exactly she is explaining, how she is explaining, what are the questions that she's asking. So these are the things that has really, I really feel that I liked it. I like it very much now that I am a part of this particular um, what do you call routine, which was missing in my life. So because I have a lot of really not too much of administrative work now, so I have a lot of academic work which is happening, and I think that's all in as far as as far as work is concerned. Not many major change. Decisions are there to be taken, whether I take it from home or I take it from here. Those things are already there. Of course, the problems are different. So professionally, I have to deal with the different set of issues. Previously, the issues would be more of
Something like, sir, this online which has started now. So,
yeah. So there is a
yeah.
different yeah, we had to study the whole things separately. We had to understand what exactly, right from understanding what exactly we want to be doing. How do we want to do it? How do we ensure that we do it with the minimum disturbance? How do we ensure that the children love it and are interested in it and are connected to it? How do we ensure that the parents are not stressed because of it? So there were a lot of things that are, so decisions are the work which is there is very different than it was previously. So these are the changes that has taken place as far as I am concerned. Thank you.
So do you think that you were more stressed or something because of this sudden change in the situation? Because our education world has really gone through a 360 degrees change. I mean, we never expected like overnight our situations will change like this. So
Yeah,
do you,
I agree. We never expected. Uh, but thankfully, God's grace, I got a wonderful team. So they are all well versed with their work. So even with online things, there is a lot of things that my staff was already doing. And my son Ronit is more of a tech guy, though he is also a English literature guy. But he is the younger generation, well versed with the technology. So we were able to convert work very smoothly, get my my entire staff, my brother and all my core team members who are there, they're all well versed with technology because we were using a lot of technology already in the school. So that is the biggest benefit which we had, that we already knew what works and what does not work and how do we go about it. So that way, I'm very lucky, and as I said, God's grace, it has gone very smoothly. So Ronit, my son, was able to explain Google Meet, which was something completely new. So put them all the students in the class, and with one click, everybody gets into the class. Teachers not stressed about how am I entering the class, what do I do, how do I start a meeting. No such issues were there. Everything was solved from our end and given to them. that this is how you start. That my principals, my heads which were there, well versed with, by the time everything happened, well versed with what is Zoom, what is Google Meet, and how do we go about teaching in it. So they were ready with the whole entire May went in training the staff individually on a like hand holding each teacher. All the almost 400 staff members were trained individually by my core team. So like that, I was not stressed about it. Okay, there were different decisions, that's all, but I don't think I was stressed about it.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that you take your stress like a problem. So, and then you start solving that problem. Yeah, and sir, I would also like to ask you, I mean, I have seen you have been so active in, there are certain, educators groups where we are, we are all there in the same group, where you have been like an activist actually, helping other schools also to cope with the situation. So can you just, tell all our participants over here who are there? Yeah.
Not basically activist, I am in touch with many principals. As I said, I am with NISA, I am with the state board, both of them with me. So I am in touch with a lot of principals across the board. So that is something, I think it's a give and take. It's more, not more. Of course, people do call up for advice, but then I also call up people for advice. So it's a give and take which keep happening. And that is what makes a difference, because everybody understands that these are all common problems. So there are certain ideas which I get, there are certain ideas which they get, and we are able to share that. And many a time what basically happens is people are not aware of the rules and regulations. So that is where they call up. So as far as that is concerned, I am a little more up to date with the things that are about the legal requirements which are there, things which are there. So in that way, yes, I have been helping out people. I have been talking to people, giving them guidelines that what they should do, what would be constituted as not legal or not correct by somebody else, by the parents or by the courts or somebody else. So taking decisions which we feel, I feel that it is more in tune with the law and we don't get into any unnecessary problem. So that way I have been having a lot of sharing, and people always keep calling. And as I said, I learn some things from them and I share my experiences with them.
So I think you all are like leaders in true sense, because a boss tells people what to do and leader shows people how to do, because there is a vast difference between a boss and a leader. So yeah, now coming back to our leader who just retired in the month of May. So Sanjay sir,
Yes.
what do you think now? Do you think I retired at the right time so that you don't have to face the pandemic?
Yeah, I think one colleague of mine, another chief officer, he told me you are escaping at the right time and you do not know which way the industry is going. आप अच्छे समय पे जा रहे हो. Anyway, well, last 2 months before my retirement, 2 months I spent on a virtual way, because I think end of March the lockdown one started. So and I can tell you that it has been a very, very, very different experience vis-a-vis what I had throughout my career. I am a baby boomer, so I have handled both Gen X, Gen Y, and now Gen Z possibly. And so the kind of lifestyles we had, the kind of challenges we had, the kind of opportunities we have, and the current generation what they are facing is sea difference. And now the generation, our time, the generation gap used to be about 30 years. Now the generation gap, I think, is about 3 to 5 years. That I see because we have young managers coming from MBA schools. The guys who came in 2010, then 2015 and 2020, they're completely 3 different sets of individuals. So having said that, coming back to COVID and its impact, I think the impact on the industry has been quite severe. That all of us knew April was very severe, except for nutrition, food, hygiene, and related segments. Some of the industry has really gone into a spin. It has given different kind of challenges for the leadership, And but there is something good also which has happened. For example, one of the things is this work from home. I remember about 20 years back, we used to debate that why our remotely placed people cannot work on video conferencing. You know, Aarti, we used to have so many field people across India, and at any time you wanted to have even a simple capability building program, you will drop a budget of saying that how many people will come, they will travel by air, they will travel by AC two-tier, then what is the cost, then you make cost benefit analysis, then you will have a trainer. And that by itself घर के लड़की की शादी की तरह होता था अगर आप एक बड़ा प्रोग्राम करना चाहते हैं. So you know, and suddenly we had something called Microsoft Teams, which is like a Zoom, and we had it for almost last 2 years, but I don't think more than 10% were using it.
Yeah.
And once COVID came, you cannot imagine, in about 7 days time, almost we were having 300 meetings, you know, and at one point of time, I think we had 1,000 meetings in about a month. So what happened was that the entire team, because of the experience of the situation, so came into a virtual mode. And it was a huge experience. I can tell you it was a huge experience and a very beautiful experience. You see, I spent about 1.5 hours every day going to office and 1.5 hours for coming back from Andheri to my home. 3 hours every day in the quality time, and inside the car you are there, and in between in the RA colony the signal will go off, and the same repetitive things you had. And here you are at your home, in the comfort of your home, and your colleagues all over India, even the rural, you know, because as you rightly say, I have a passion for rural. So rural, we had a lot of dealers. We had carpenters, we had plumbers. We could even talk to them. I used to think that, well, will they come on Zoom? It was such a revelation that when we once I wanted to talk to about 20 of my dealers on Zoom. So I asked my colleague, he said, "Sir, unko baat karte hain, dekhte hain, aate hain ki nahi aate hain." You cannot imagine, I had 5 from Orissa, 5 from Rajasthan, 5 from UP, all on the Zoom on their mobile. So some of these perception we have that ke gaon ke log dekhte nahi honge, wo to TikTok hi dekhte hain, will they do have video chatting, but they're so comfortable. Say, well, हमारा बच्चा पढ़ता है शहर में, हम उनसे बात करते हैं, आप बात करने में क्या है, चलिए आपको हम खेती दिखाते हैं, हमारा खेती क्या हुआ है, because there was no COVID in rural areas. So this was a very welcome change, you know. Well, this honeymoon lasted for about 2.5 months. When we had very high pitch meetings every day. I used to have 8-10 meetings. 8-10 meetings in a day was completely not possible in an office atmosphere. You ask the other person, we want to have a meeting, out of 3, 2 will say my calendar is full, another 2 will say my calendar is, you know, okay, you can. So एक अच्छा meeting करने के लिए आपको 10 दिन का कोशिश करना पड़ता था. But here I found there was so much of agreement of people that yes, I am available even at the leadership level, and so it was very good. And I think some of our very, very well awaited projects, which we saw still the Q2 projects, you know, important but not urgent, but this is the one which will take you the company to the medium to the long term. I think in 2 months time, many of them will be closed, which I think I could not close for last 2 years. And my wife said, then again, once they told me that, what is this? You are not going to office, but there is no change. I said, why? I said, I also see your smiling people on the on your laptop. It is 7:38 in the evening. उनके घर में ही बाल बच्चे हैं, उनको छोड़ जाने दो. मैं बोला नहीं, हंस के तो काम कर रहे हैं. तो हमको ऐसा लगता था तो घर में ही तो है, ऐसे ही वापस जाएंगे तो 8 साढ़े 9 बजे पहुंचते. But then you see the vis-a-vis the co-located teams, when you start working virtually, there is a family, you know, and if it's a young couple or children are in the schooling, there are parents. See, work from home gets into that. So that was a little later realization. I think that is something which most of the companies will have a hard shutdown, you know. At 7 o'clock you have to be off, because it is a huge pressure. Now it is eating on people. In the morning में बच्चा को schooling हो रहा है online में. So afternoon में the seniors, they are having their own. Then evening you have that. So it's like a challenge. But I think it has given us a lot of I think the management, it has given a huge experience that is it necessary that we have to meet to work physically? Is it necessary? Can we meet twice a week and balance 4 weeks can I work at home? And COVID possibly has taught that there is no impact on productivity.
Yeah.
So vis-a-vis working one day on work from home, I think recently Bharat had announced we were having 1 day per week work from home about 2 years back, since 2 years back. There also people were raising eyebrows. You know, there was always this feeling, our typical feeling, work from home karta hai ki so gaya, kaam pura kar raha ki nahi kar raha. You can imagine, I think I have seen more honesty and more trust in people working from home, whether it was delivery, it was the quality of work, than when they were in office. So that was a very big, very big learning for me. In the family front, I think there's some, you know, I have been living out of a suitcase for first 20 years of my life. You know, हमारा time पर तो हम कंपनी को अन्नदाता समझते थे और बॉस को गॉड समझते थे, समझे ना, नौकरियां कम हुआ करती थी, तो come early, go late was the, you know, mantra of our time. But I think COVID forced us to stay at home, so very good quality time. I have a lot of passion for collecting music and movies, and I had a huge collection. So cataloging them and giving some time, stealing that time from my transit time actually, you know, otherwise office timings were extended as such up to 7:30. So that was a very big thing. I think last 4 months had been possibly the best time I have spent with my family in my entire career.
So great, Sanjay sir. Pallavi, do you agree with sir, or you have any other experiences? And one more question I would also like to ask you along with this, you know, I mean, how did your colleagues, they have taken this particular pandemic situation? I mean, do they also feel stressed the way sir was saying, you know, work from home is also creating more stress in them? And what are the measures you have taken, you know, like to make them little more comfortable, relax? Is there any particular thing what you have done?
So, see, it's a different work environment, right? So work has come home and everybody is working in a family environment, which is different from what one is used to. So while a lot of people say commute time has got saved, but honestly for me, though I had a long commute, I enjoyed that me time, just listening to music or catching up, you know, with my family members like my mom, which nowadays I have to find time to do that, while earlier it was easy. While you're commuting, you're catching up. So the schedules for most employees, everybody has changed, and it's different for different homes and for different employees. Would it create a stress situation? The answer is yes, there is quite a possibility. We've done multiple things to make sure that, you know, we are able to bring awareness to our colleagues at Capgemini that, you know, it's a different work environment, may bring in stress. So first is just raising that awareness, I think, becomes important. So what we've done right at the beginning when we were going to go for work from home, we did a webinar on COVID-19 and what its implications were, including working from home, and, you know, what were some of the areas one needed to look out for. So we've continued these webinars. We've had tremendous uptake on these webinars up till now. We also have meditation sessions that we are doing during evening time. And there again, we've had more than 27,000 employees over a period of time join us. We are also we've started a separate stream called Happiness and Wellbeing as part of our diversity and inclusion effort, where we've looked at talking about, creating a laughter club, for instance. And we've looked at, taking sessions on domestic violence, on values, and we're also looking at rolling out counseling sessions for our employees with your help, Aarti. So there are different areas that we are picking up, and we are sending communication to our employees, including videos by our leaders. It's called Candid Connect, as to how do they spend their time, exactly the first question that you asked all of us, so that everyone realizes that it's not just them, everybody is in the same boat. We also have our employee assistance partner whose numbers we make sure are available for our employees to reach out to for one-on-one counseling session. So we are doing more communication, more facilitation of availability of resources to our colleagues at Capgemini around. Over to you, Aarti, please.
Yeah. Thank you, Pallavi. Now I will ask the same question to Rohan sir. Sir, have you taken any special measures to, like keep the spirits high of your team or your parents, of your students? Any particular activity or many activities have you, done something special after this post-pandemic?
As I leave motivation to the motivational speakers, not my cup of tea. I am more of a practical guy. So I feel the leader should enthuse confidence in the people around him. And as far as my staff is concerned, that is what I have been trying to do. These are difficult times, and one thing I realized is that people were worried about their livelihood. So the best I could do was that assure them that their salaries will be there on time, that it will come on time till at least the management has got, all the issues that are coming up, and there are so many problems with the fees and all those things. So many schools have cut down, they have got no option. Well, luckily we are in a better position again. We have got some funds, and we assured our staff that you did not require to worry about this whole issue. At least our stand was clear that till we have money, we will pay you.
Sir, your voice is not audible.
Is it better now? Can you hear me better? No?
Shri?
Can you hear me?
He has to check his connection.
Yeah, acha, he has lost his connection.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, he's back.
No, I am here. I don't know. I think. Maybe
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me now? I put off my camera.
Yes, Rohan sir, are you there?
Yeah, I am here.
Sir, you are not audible. Sir, we can't see you, neither hear you.
क्या हो गया? Connection बंद हो गया.
No, not audible.
Okay, I'll try to shift to the mobile.
Pardon?
I'll try to shift to my mobile and see.
Okay, sure. Sure. So meanwhile, I'll just ask Sanjay sir. Okay, sir, are you there?
Yeah.
No, I'm asking Rohan sir. I mean, I think he's logging in again or.
Yes.
Okay, he is logging in again. So meanwhile, I'll ask Sanjay sir. Sir, yeah, I mean, now it's a pandemic situation, but as we were discussing, corporate world is every day there is something or the other very challenging.
Yes.
So how did you manage all these years to, as I was saying, not only survive, but be successful, in throughout your career? And how did you handle? I mean, is there any particular technique which you are using? And I heard about this heartfulness meditation. So is that really help you? I mean, to sail through your entire ups and downs of your corporate journey?
Yes, it did. It did. I think I started meditation as a therapeutic with a therapeutic mindset rather than with a spiritual mindset. Jobs can be pretty little stressful in certain positions, and this happened when I was in Amul. I was the zonal head of Amul in Delhi, And whatever it, I had a very big geography to see, or whatever was the reason, I was feeling that there was something missing. I needed something more. And that is how I got introduced to this system, and it has been 20-25 years. But I can tell you at any point of time, this is the only source which possibly personally to me has been a great source of strength, you know. And there are times in your life as a leader of a group, or even as a report to the big man, you always have certain problems which are just unsolvable. Someone has told me very nicely that at a CXO level, एक या दो problem आपका जो होगा, वो अभी आप कभी solve नहीं कर सकते उसको. The boss cannot solve it, so he's given it to you. You are supposed to handle it and just manage it, you know. And there are challenges, and but there are great opportunities also. So the balancing between both of them takes a different kind of a mindset. And in the initial period of your life, you are very passionate, your legs are strong, the organization wants you to run to achieve things. But as you grow higher up, more of collaboration is required, skills become lesser important than emotional quotients. Then there are failures, there are successes, but each of them teach you that at the end of the day, these are all illusions. You know, you come out of one success, but with the same pattern you fail. You come out of one failure, but having the same strategy, you succeed. So at the end of the day, it's a kind of a detached kind of involvement one has to have, which keeps one happy on a longer term. If you become happy on every small kind of things that which is happening, or get disappointed when things are going wrong, it becomes very difficult. So meditation tells you one thing, that it gets you to the core of your heart. You always make your reference point to your inside and not to outside. The moment you make your reference point to outside, whether be it your boss, your organization, your spouse, your environment, like COVID has happened now, the outer world keeps on impacting you. Now, having said that, whether I have succeeded, I can't say, but I don't think so. I have succeeded fully. I still get impacted by what is happening outside. But meditation does help. We have a specific technique in our system of meditation called cleaning, which we do in the evening before going to sleep. This is to give up all the good and the bad things which has happened to you during the day. While the good things you always release, but they are as bad as the bad things, because both capture your imagination, they create thoughts which subsequently impact your performance. If you want to have good performance, you must be out of success as well as failure. That's what small thing I have learned in my life, having gone through many phases. And yes, what you say, right, I was in a dairy industry, whether I overstayed, understayed, or right stayed. I had 2 decades, 21 years joining as a young manager from the management school. 21 years after 2 decades, completely changing to another organization with a complete different industry. From dairy, I came to adhesives and chemicals. And here as the head of a division, reporting to the owners, and with a large team. And it's challenging. You know, you have to completely give up whatever are your learnings, your knowledge, skill acquired in dairy. Partly may be applicable, partly may not be, but required to unlearn things at the same time managing. You know, it is trying to change the tires of the truck when the truck is still running. So things are, but this is a time when you actually learn the maximum. This is what I have seen in my career. As a leader, whenever you are under pain, that is the best time for you. That is the time when you are changing and when you learn the best. When you are complacent, you are doing, everything is going well, boss is saying you are the greatest, you have got a good increment, your people are very happy, you know you are down the slide. You have overdone, or it is the right time for you to change. So these are some learnings which you don't learn very early in your career, and possibly learn as you go along. And these are nuggets which I today share with my friends and colleagues who ask for it, you know.
Yeah, thank you, sir. I would, before Rohan, sir, I mean, I get it, you know, like I can see him over here, but I would like to continue with the same question to Pallavi. What is your coping mechanism, Pallavi? I mean, do you have any particular thing, like how sir is, you know, like following certain meditational techniques or something? So do you have anything specifically designed for yourself which suits you?
So there are two things. First of all, I realize I try and be aware and realize for myself when the situation starts to become what one would term as close to being stressful, and step back and then kind of look at what decision one needs to take and move on from there. So that awareness I built more and more over the past few weeks and months. More importantly, luckily for me, I do have some space in my complex where I can go for a walk or a run. So I do try and take that break, particularly in the night is when I get some time nowadays, where I at least, if not for a very long time, for a half an hour in fresh air, I take a round. And it's monsoon season in Mumbai. I love monsoon. So people like different weathers. I prefer monsoon, so I quite enjoy the weather also with just my cup of tea. So those are some of the techniques I use to make sure that I step back from what could be termed as stressful and take it easy.
Okay, great. So any particular message you would like to give our women leaders?
Well, I think first it used to be said that women need to balance both home and work, which still is happening. But I also think that now, since the men are also at home, I think the appreciation of the work that is being done, both from a home perspective and a work perspective, has come in much higher as well. I just say one thing, which is the longer term, right? There's nothing known as, in my mind, that's the way I look at it, perfect work-life balance. It doesn't happen that you work 8 hours or 7 hours and then you're off work. There are times when the work demands more from you. There are times when the home demands more from you, and it's perfectly fine to take the time out that you need either for work or at home, and have that communication with your stakeholders to say what you need to do, that everybody understands it, right? There's no substitute for the effort that you put in. And I have been very fortunate to have had tremendous mentors, and they've helped me look at a bigger picture. And nobody says no. If you reach out to someone to say, will you be my mentor? 99% of the time, nobody will say, no, I don't have time for you. All of them will say, yes, I have time for you. So make sure that, one gets some help for that bigger picture also as one journeys through the career.
Yeah, great. So now over to Rohan sir. Sir, do you have any particular message to be given to all our leaders from education world now? Rohan sir?
Can you hear me now? Not even now?
Sir, you're not audible. It's mute.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Acha, you are logged in from Children's Academy. Okay.
No, I have logged in from my mobile now.
Acha, okay. I can see the Children's Academy, poster over here. Okay.
That's because I think some issue with maybe the some internet issue.
Okay.
So you want me to come back from where I was previously?
Yeah, you can continue that, and then you can answer my question, like any advice or any particular message for our leaders who have joined us today and who will be watching us on Facebook.
Okay, fine, sure. So as I was talking about previously, I was talking about the issue with what do I do as a leader. So first of all, as I said, I had to ensure that my people were convinced that they are not going to be in any major financial problem. So that is the first thing that I had done. And I ensured that I keep continuing now. Even now, we are continuing with the full payment to everybody so that they are not put at any kind of other stress other than whatever they are already facing. And the other thing is, which I felt is very important, is that people should be very clear about what is expected from them. So we have made ourselves very clear about what the teachers are supposed to be doing and what is our expectation from them. This is something completely new which happened to them, and there was a stress that I knew that teachers are going to be very stressed about how are they going to do this. So I had to ensure that my core team was
very clear about what I was expecting, what we as management were expecting from the staff, and the core team was prepared for it, and the core team prepared the people so that the teachers were not, on the first day they came on this online, the children and the parents felt that they are professionals in this. They already have been handling this for years. That is the kind of confidence that comes to people, and that is why children are confident that work is going on, parents are confident, and that is what has helped a lot. So it is not about motivational talk, but it is more about planning your work better. So
And action.
you have a good team and your team is well prepared, I think work goes on, and then you don't require to motivate anyone except that, because everybody is sure of themselves then. So that was a reply to my previous question. Now coming to the about what I speak, the first and foremost what I tell everybody is, even my family also, is try to keep work at home, at office. And when you bring the work home, like we have work at home now, there is no option. We should be able to make a clear distinction. It is not an easy job when there is a lot of work, as Tyagiji was just telling, that there are certain days when we have to go beyond the call of duty and we have a work to complete. That's fine once in a while, that's fine. Otherwise, I would always advise that try to segregate your work and your home. So as I said, I like to finish. I may sit very late at office, but then once I go, it is either time for myself or my family, one of the two. Either you should have time for yourself, or you should have time, whichever you prefer, whichever way. I'm more of a quieter guy. I go and spend my time on my own. Sometime now I get more time with my family, as I said, so I spend a little more time with my family. So that is one thing that I would say that everybody should be aware with. Third, I would like to say that everybody should understand that these are times where everyone is in a problem. So it is nothing unique to you that you are only facing problems. So once you accept that this is something which everyone has got, it becomes easier to de-stress yourself. And as I said, I am not a kind of person who gives too much importance to stress as such. Stress is basically a decision for me, as I said. It's a indecisive time, and that is the time when you are stressed. Once you take a decision about something, the stress usually goes away. So for that, taking that decision, it is a very important part, because it will, on that, your future stress is going to depend. So you require to be well informed about as many things as possible. So talk to people from your counterparts from various, if it is the school industry, to keep talking to your other friends or the other principal friends, understand their issues, talk your issues. It will help you de-stress to a very large extent. It will also enhance your knowledge. So what will happen is you will be able to take better decisions. And when you take better decisions, you don't have to think about problems that are going to come because of this decision. So well-informed decisions, talking to people, all these things definitely help, and that would be my general advice to people. Get as much information as possible, talk as much as to people from your counterparts, and I'm sure that it should take care of your stress. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So yeah, now we'll close this with Sanjay sir's message to the leaders, young leaders, and like senior leaders. Sir, what you would like to say? And post that, we can open this forum if anybody else would like to, ask any questions to our panelists, or even internally, if all the panelists would like to talk to each other, it's open forum then. Yes, sir. Your piece of advice. Yes.
This is for small nuggets from what came to my mind and what I thought when we were doing the wellness and initiatives in the last few weeks, which we had kicked off in Pidilite. So there are 3-4 things which is coming to my mind as far as someone who is leading a large team or even a small team. One is communication is very, very important. Communicate as frequently. We should communicate as frequently possible. Repeat key themes as often as possible without feeling I had talked about it last time, but People want to hear the same thing as a sense of assurance. That is very important. This is first point. Second is that manage the welfare initiative, not welfare, the wellness, not employee engagement. I'm talking of wellness initiative of the organization yourself. Don't leave it too down, because that is what most important, because that's where you give support to your colleagues on all the fronts, physical, social, professional. See that what is happening. Number two is that communication as a leader, ensure communication is not only by you. In fact, you should not communicate as a CEO. You should not be saying that every week I'm going to have a town hall or I'm going to talk to everyone. Your value will come down, and your reports, who are actually the second level of leadership, their voice will go. You may talk once in 3 months, once in 2 months, but ensure and track that your leaders are talking. It's a personality trait. Some people are very good in communication, some people speak less, but this is the time when you cannot afford to speak less. People won't forgive you for that. They want to know, they are curious whether नौकरी रहेगा कि नहीं, salary cut हुआ कि नहीं होगा, ठीक है रहेगा तो sales का क्या हो रहा है, competition क्या हो रहा है, what will be the long term. People are very keen to know. So that communication is one of the key things. One is that one team you must be very, very close to is two teams actually, which is very overworked, in any organization today. One is HR, the other one is IT. They are working almost double the speed at the other departments are working. IT in keeping the system okay, the pressure is enormous, and HR in terms of keeping the employees together. These are the two teams. If they are your HR leader and your IT leader must be your strategic leadership team में उनका number 1 and 2 होना चाहिए. Because revenue तो maximum जगह impacted ही है, and supply chain is in strain. So what more you can do? So यही समय पर HR और IT ये दो टीम के. और एक बहुत यूनिक चीज मुझे आरती ये आया कि ये टाइम, is it a good time for us to invest in people? I found that it was a very unique time when I could have a one-to-one talk with my reports in mentoring them, which normally happens, of course it happens on day to day, but normally a long chat with them happens only during appraisal. And that also, is there a time, so like some people you have seen are very strong in certain things, but this is pulling them back. Is there a possibility that you engage with them? Then their capability building, taking some personal interest in at least in your direct reports, in saying that, is this a time to invest in ourselves in a manner which is respectful to adult learning, So I was just thinking that whether these are the few things that we can do and which we can help, which is slightly different. The last one is managing this multi-generational leadership. Today we have a very queer combination where you have got 3 layers of Gen Y, or all the millennials, and then above them is the Gen X, and who is managing them. And this communication, when you are putting so much of emphasis of communication, these both have a very different style of receiving communication, receiving inputs and reacting. So how do you do in a remote mode at the same time address everyone is something of a trick. You need to understand. I have seen like the multi-generational leaders, they don't want coaching, they don't want mentoring by telling them this. They say आपको जो बताना है बताइए, हमको online दे दीजिए पढ़िए. And they're very, very, very good at online reading. But Gen X is not. Gen X is not a very online capability building team, at least in our industry. IT has always been on a different scale altogether as far online is concerned. So these are some small nuances, and investment in this during the normal times is very low. Not very low, is low because the grind of the day is so heavy, and the target, the sales to be achieved, the day-to-day work is so heavy. Possibly this was to take a back seat. Is there an opportunity for us to take these to the front so that they become a part of our life as COVID goes away and we are back to our normal life? That's one another point also I had.
Yeah, so thank you so much, sir. And now the forum is open for everyone. Anybody has any questions to any particular leader, so please go ahead. You can maybe unmute yourself, you can unmute, or you can also switch on your video and you can ask the question. Is there anyone?
Hi, Aarti. May I?
Oh, hi. How are you?
How are you?
Fine,
I'm good.
fine. Nice to see ex-colleagues.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, yeah.
So my question is to Panigrahi sir. Up till now,
You
what was
always,
happening?
if I know, is this Ujjwal speaking?
Yes.
Yeah, sir.
You always ask very difficult questions. तुमको यही time मिला था क्या?
So for rest of the group, I joined as a management trainee under Panigrahi sir.
Okay.
So, sir, my question is to you. Up till now, what was happening? The moment you leave the office, you know, your work boundary is taken care of, and then you have entered your personal life boundary. The moment you are not in office, it is understood that you are not available for office talk. You are at your home, you are with your family. In this pandemic, what is happening is your work boundaries are being stretched. The difference between work day and weekend has been totally nullified. And at any given point of time, you are accessible to anyone. So how to create those boundaries? How to at least, you know, let anyone know that, no, right now I'm not ready for this communication, because it is creating stress in the system right now.
Well, I think it was earlier it was a personality, you know, there were multiple technologies and people were being bombarded. There are surveys which have said that there are people who attend to office work, about 40%, one survey in UK, of course, this was 40% who attend to office work even on weekends and on their off time on the weekdays. And then there was 60% who read the emails. You know, so this was one. It was a personal. Some people used to switch off, but it's again industry specific and your leader specific, all that. But I think one thing has happened because the boss himself also has gone through the grind now. You know, this is something which has impacted from top to bottom. Everyone is at home and boss को भी घर का काम करना पड़ता है. भाई लोग आते भी नहीं है. So all the work you have to share, husband and wife are sharing, whether you belong to this class or this class. So everyone has realized the importance of work-life balance. Even if they have realized they had not possibly activated, I think good organizations or responsible organizations will come up with very, whether I say for the want of a good word, should I say stringent policies as regard to what does work to from home? When is a hard shutdown? Like for suppose you are working on Microsoft Teams and you are for India, you say that no Teams meeting after 7. Your platform will not be accessible. Now you want to talk after that on something that's up to you. So some of these things already people are feeling and they're talking. So you know that this is what is doing. And then so many webinars are there. I want to attend a webinar. Now what do I do? Now, if our entire day is going up and I want a very quality webinar coming up, suppose Pallavi madam is doing something, I want to hear her. So what do I do? Where do I go? How do you differentiate the time, personal time, professional time, official time? I think some kind of norms are going to get established because people have tested success. That work from home does not mean people will cheat. Work from home means it is here to stay. Work from home does not mean any loss of productivity. If we can manage that well, I think the industry itself, the organization themselves will start, and HR will lead, of course, on this and will be ably supported. For example, the remote teams. I have seen that the remote teams ka game plan bahut alag hai than the co-located teams. The co-located teams ka the way of working is very different. Remote team ko aapko work from home karne se bhi unko zyada time dena padta hai. Because from there, when they go to the customer, etc., they cannot call the customer at 6 o'clock for a meeting. Their time with the customer is fixed, even if they are working on Zoom or here with the customer. So their working is different. So all this will fall into place. I think some kind the industry will invent. I think IT industry must have invented. Pallavi will be able to tell us whether IT industry has invented their ways of work from home. There are rules which is abided by or not. बट एक्चुअली कंज्यूमर प्रोडक्ट इंडस्ट्री में तो ये बहुत ज्यादा नहीं हुआ था, लेकिन मैं देख सकता हूँ कि ये होने वाला है। लेकिन 4 महीने तो बॉस लोगों को और उनका रिपोर्ट को तो घर में रखवा ही दिया कोविड ने, तो जो सीखना था सब सीख गए। तो दे ऑल्सो हैव अ ट्रस्ट नाउ कि ये हो सकता है और होके भी कोई प्रोडक्टिविटी में इम्पैक्ट नहीं आ रही है। तो सेल कम हो गया, माल नहीं बिक रहा है, दुकान नहीं खुला है, वो बात दूसरी है। बट अदर थिंग्स पीपल हैव, आई थिंक पीपल हैव, you know, they have behaved very rationally, and they're a very positive sign to work from home. I think Pallavi will be able to possibly add more as regard to what's the things that how the situation will fan out as regard to the question that you have asked.
Yeah, Pallavi.
Yeah, so I mean, the only thing I'll add here is that so the distinction that one needs to make well between personal and professional life. was there even earlier. So the tools of having conference calls, video calls was available earlier as well. It's just a question of, to what Sanjay mentioned, how does one as a leader follow a certain protocol when working with their teams, right? So are you starting at a certain time, which is say the official start hour, or typically with the hour that the team would start, and end the day when the day is supposed to end officially as well. So one is you follow that discipline for yourself. That's number one. Secondly, you also look at, say, weekend working. You brought that up. So what I have started to do very consciously, to the extent possible, unless it's an emergency, I don't reach out to my team members after office hours. I don't even write emails of, if you're clearing your inbox, should I write an email over the weekend and clear it? While I do it, I don't send it out. It goes out on a Monday morning. Because then over the weekend, the team doesn't get stressed out or starts thinking about work because, your supervisor has written to you and you need to respond. There are certain protocols that one should follow, should have followed in the past, should follow even now further, given that there is no distinction between office and work, and office and home, because the home environment has become office environment. I also think there's a certain sensitivity involved and patience involved while working from home. The family is there, there are connectivity issues that one faces. And I think everybody is learning over a period of time. There are digital tools that can help. But having said that, I think that human intervention is more important than tools that can come in and help. But nice question. Thanks for bringing it up.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Pallavi. Thank you, Sanjay sir, for your wonderful answer. I hope, Ujjwal, you are satisfied now.
Yeah, I am.
Okay. So we'll just take a last question if there is any, or otherwise we will conclude this. And I think there's a lot of learning what has happened over here. Yeah, we all realize the importance of work and home balance, because our home is now work and work is at home, so it's really a mixture today. But still, we still have to manage, we have to balance, we have to take care of our colleagues, our partners, our team members. At the same time, we also have to take care of our family members too. So I'm sure it was a good mix of corporate and education world. Okay, who's there? Kavita Agarwal. She wants to ask one question. Yeah, please, Kavita, go ahead. Yeah, Kavita.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Yeah, good evening.
Rohan and I are colleagues and members of MISA. So
Okay.
I have a question that in my school, the teachers are doing this online training so well, and they are so much engrossed, and the productivity is much higher than the physical classroom, what we can say. And they have become so complacent. Now when I tell them that can you please come to school and deliver certain things, they are reluctant, and they are so much in their comfort zone. So to bring them back to the physical environment is a big challenge. That how will you guide us?
Yeah, Rohan sir.
Oh, is it for me?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. I would like to say, ask Sanjay sir also the same thing, because to bring the teachers back to the same momentum, it's getting difficult now.
I think I have a different take on that. I feel that the teachers would be going crazy at home, and they may be actually waiting to come to school. Come out of that same place they have been there for the last 4 months and come out to their natural environment in which they flourish actually. And that feeling, because whatever they may be doing their work well, they may be teaching, but I still know teachers that they don't feel the connect with the children. And teachers basically, that is their one of the main reasons why they become teachers is the human connect, which may be missing out. I feel that as soon as things open, they would, of course, once the fear goes away. Today, it may be the fear that they don't want to come out. And once that goes away, they would all be willing and they'll be looking ahead to come and join back to the school. The huzz and the buzz that goes on in the activities, the programs, the function. I think that is something which every teacher must be missing. I am very sure that they would love to come back. I have to ask them. I have not asked them.
Thank you, Rohan sir. I'm sure that your take is good, but my only one concern is that human connect is definitely missing. But when the connect is online, which is with the thousands of resources, and with one click they can facilitate everything on the screen, so it becomes very, very easy for them to deliver the lecture, because as Cambridge curriculum requires the open and the inquiry based, so inquiry is carried on very well online rather than physical, because online we can gather ample of resources with one click. So that may be stopping them to get out of this comfort zone. That is what I feel.
Well, let's see. Time will tell. Nothing I can predict. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, thank you so much.
So
I think Kavita ma'am, you need to be little more positive. Think positive. Your teachers will be, like back to normal. Don't worry.
No, I am 100% positive.
I think Pallavi, you may be in a position to answer also this. It's a very unique situation where, I was telling someone, but I got two kinds of answer. For example, when you're doing appraisal, is it necessary that you have to see the guy in flesh and blood? So my colleague said, no, appraisal is once in a year. So when you are doing the appraisal, if the guy is present, it's quite good, at least एक बार तो आपको उसको मिलना चाहिए. What is this in video you want to do the appraisal? When I talked the guy, he said, sir, it is very good that you are doing it in video. I said, why? He said, body language is very important. अगर मेरा बॉस को मैं गुस्सा करते हुए देख लूंगा सामने, तो मेरा तो appraisal आधा ही वहीं पे खत्म हो गया. So if I can remain incognito, I can still speak the way I am open on an online platform. I may not be open in flesh and blood. This is one aspect of the story. Second, coming back to education, there is certain things called children mixing around together, children going to school. There is a lot of learning of co-living and instead of being glued and learning on virtually. That is another aspect that is required. So is it going to bring in a new way of living, of half digital, half physical? Perhaps the ones which will be physical will not be digital, and the one which will be digital will not be physical. What kind of things are you able to foresee in the future, whether it be in the education, in profession? What kind of things are coming to your mind post-COVID?
So I think you've already answered the question, Sanjay, and to Kavita's question, it's going to be a mix, I think. It's not going to be an either-or situation. What has come very clearly is that work from home does work. And we already had this flexi work option in our organization that we offer to our colleagues. Now, of course, all of our colleagues are mostly working from home. Having said that, just as Rohan spoke about, it's also about fear of coming back to the classroom and teaching. So, following various guidelines, once the schools open up, for instance, how safe it is, the fear goes out of the mind. I think the future will be somewhere in between. I can't talk about the education field. I'm not an expert in that. But definitely from a corporation perspective, it will be not an either or situation. It will be an and situation. What will exactly work will pan out over a period of time. But it cannot be all working from home or all in office also is not something that we are foreseeing.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a blended, approach towards even education as well as, corporate world. So, I think now let's close this because it's going beyond our time, and thank you so much. I'm sure all of you have your other assignments too. So thank you once again. We close it over here, and thank you Pallavi, thank you Sanjay sir, thank you Rohan sir, and thank you all the participants for being over here and who are all watching us on Facebook Live. I hope this has really given you insights of two worlds, that is corporate and education, which are anyways connected because education world is creating tomorrow's leaders. So definitely it is all, we are all connected very well, and today we are virtually connected. So thank you so much, and stay at home, stay safe, stay blessed. Thank you.
Thank you.